Go home edition of AEW Dynamite ahead of Full Gear did a lot to build more hype for this Saturday's pay-per-view event. The show closed with a contract signing between Omega and Page, with a surprise at the end. We also had Rocky Romero wrestling his first match on Dynamite against Daniel Bryan, and a former WWE star attacking Jungle Boy. So let's get straight into it. And we did start off with Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan versus Rocky Romero. Romero was being dominated in the early stages, with Bryan looking in a surfboard early on. Romero fought back and hit a cutter and a German suplex for a 2 count before Bryan got on top with some boots to the corner. Rocky Romero then tried to lock in an armbar but it didn't work. Danielson locked in a tequila sunrise and forced Romero to tap out. And in the end it was quite a basic win for Bryan. Kind of just building up to that match on Saturday, pitting him over. But yeah, good for Rocky Romero as well. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Before, as the Inner Circle made their entrance, they were attacked from behind by American Top Team. They then turned their attention to Chris Jericho, and Ethan Page smashed him across the back with a kendo stick before tossing him inside the ring where a table had been set up. Dan Lambert was on the middle rope and hit a big splash with the help of Page and Sky. Lambert then locked in the walls of Jericho and the fans booed in the arena. Just that final bit of hype. For a go-home show, it did a good bit, and Babyface will obviously recover on Saturday. Before moving on, we got Britt Baker, Hayter and Rebel versus Thunder Rosa, Tay Conti and Anna Jay. Baker and Rossa started off early, but it didn't last for long. Thunder Rosa was briefly in control before she tagged out to Anna Jay. Jamie Hayter then grabbed Jay in the chokehold, and the heels still had Jay trapped in their corner. Following the break, as Dr. Baker tagged back in. Tay Conti then came in on a hot tag and took down all three with clotheslines. Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker then hit a backbreaker suplex combo, but Thunder Rosa broke the ensuring pin. Rossa then headed to the top rope and took out Hayter at ringside. Tay Conti then hit Rebel with a DDT to pick up the victory. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, just finally building up to the match on Saturday, and it's a decent match, got me more hyped, and I'm looking forward to that match on Saturday. Next up was Jungle Boy versus Anthony Bowens. Max Capster wrapped the Acclaim to the ring and taking shots at Anna Jay, Jungle Boy's girlfriend, before Caster's wrap got a little short as Jungle Boy attacked Bowens and hit a passing arm drag and followed it up with knife edge chops. Bowen took control again, teeing off on Jungle Boy before hitting more chops. The Jurassic Express member then hit back with a low drop kick to the knee, followed by a lariat, taking Bowens down. More back and forth ensued before Jungle Boy locked in the stair trap and picked up the win. As Jungle Boy celebrated in the ring, Bobby Fish ran down and attacked him. He continued until Cage and Luchasaurus stopped there and he retreated. It kind of built up to a little segment, I think you know what. But yeah, the match, it's just what it was. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Before, Adam Cole and the Young Bucks were backstage when Bobby Fish was introduced by Adam Cole. They said they knew who he was, and yet the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly's contract's up, and we all know what's happening. Before we got Wardlow versus Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta immediately hit a dropkick, but Wardlow didn't even flinch. Yuta did his best to avoid Wardlow's offense, but it didn't last long. Wardlow capitalised on a mistake by Yuta and hit him with a Uranagi, followed by a massive powerbomb. Wardlow then followed up with a rising strike in the corner and completely dominated the match. 7 out of 10. More of this Wardlow, please. Poor Wheeler Yuta, though. Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor were both checking on Yuta before the Blade Messiah Cassidy came down and attacked them from behind. Matt Hardy, who was at ringside, then got into the ring with a steel chair. Hardy wrapped the chair around Orange Cassidy's neck and hit him with a twist of fate. I didn't really change my opinion on the overall thing. Kind of did what it needs to. Put the heels over. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Then got backstage footage of Eddie Kingston and CM Punk brawling again, and it was quickly broken away from what these look like. Before we got Dante Martin and Lio Rush versus Lee Moriarty and Matt Sydal. Moriarty and Martin started things off. The pay was high from the beginning, with fans breaking into applause before both men tagged out with Sydal and Rush coming in and continuing the fast-paced action. Rush hit a Hurricane Rana to take control, and Dante Martin tagged back in, and Martin launched himself off the middle rope. We saw some incredible offense from Lio Rush, and he took both Sydal and Lee Moriarty down. Martin then tagged in and hit Moriarty with a springboard moonsault and pinned him to pick up the win. This was a really, really fun match. Great way for Lio Rush to debut. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Really, really enjoyable stuff. Romero then sent a warning to Bryan Danielson and said that he needed to get the title belts, and that's exactly what he's going to do, with the first step being at Full Gear. Before we got Dax Hardwood versus Pac. Both men continued to tee off on one another as the match continued. After a frantic start, the match spilled outside and Pac hit a backdrop on the entrance arena before Hardwood crawled back into the ring. Both men were seen teetering on the top rope as Pac hit a top rope avalanche brainbuster to take control, but Hardwood then rolled away and hit a brainbuster of his own for a 2 count. Pac then hit back with a thrust kick and headed back to the top rope. Hardwood joined Pac on the top turnbuckle and hit a backdrop. More back and forth ensued before Pac transitioned out of an uppercut and transitioned into a brutalizer, allowing him to pick out the win. Pac then let go of the hold after the match, forcing Cash Wheeler out. The lights went out and Malachi Black and Andrade joined them before the Lucha Brothers and Cody Rhodes came down to make the save. This was all very weird, lots happening, but on the whole it was a fun match, and yeah, lots of interesting stuff going on, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It was main event time and a contract signing between Omega and Page. Hangman put pen to paper first, saying that the sooner he signed, the sooner he could get his hands on Omega. Omega didn't share Hangman's enthusiasm and said they used to be friends, and if it wasn't for Hangman's failures, they still would be. Hangman replied that he wasn't the only former tag team partner Omega fallen out with. Page then added that Omega had told him he wasn't good enough continually, and added that Omega's words had driven him to where he is today. Omega then offered to shake hands with Hangman Page. Omega started to walk away when the cameraman attacked Hangman Page. It turned out to be Don Callis. Hangman was busted open as Callis trash talked on the mic, and Omega signed a contract with Hangman's blood. Yeah, I just can't wait until Hangman gets revenge. This storyline is just brilliant. Overall this week, Dynamite gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Really enjoyable episode of Dynamite. Great final builds to the storyline, and I'm really looking forward to Full Gear now. Yeah, it should be a great show. And once again, as you come to expect with Dynamite, it was a really good episode of TV. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Make your thoughts, comments down below. Follow on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my channel on the screen right now. That would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.